the producer.
What's going on? Okay, so this is gonna be kind of an update to the BRAUM racing seats. I was making a GoPro video about them, and the installation and the audio was just trash, so I gave up on that. So this is my cell phone. It's more consistent for me as far as the BRAUM racing seats and the brackets and all that stuff, right? So I put that on a few days ago, and I've been driving the car with them, and the ride is different. The seats obviously got less cushion in them, so you feel more of the road, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something to be aware of. You'll feel more of the kind of like the nooks and crannies in the road a little bit more. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I do feel more of the road, especially like on the freeway and stuff. You can feel more of the vibration. Pros and cons, more or less. I mean, pro obviously is the aesthetics. They look super nice. I did put some ceramic protection on them so they're extra shiny, but they're not like slick. I'm not sliding off them or nothing. You also of course lose the adjustable steering option here, so like this doesn't work for me no more because it's tied to the same harness that gets disconnected. So if you saw my other videos, you saw that I have these adapters that make it so the SRS light doesn't come on. When at least I don't have the SRS light, but there's always the chance that, you know, the rest of the airbags aren't going to go off. You know, that's obviously a con with them. The comfort is pretty good. I mean, it's not as good as my stock seats. I mean, I love my stock seats. They were super comfortable and foamy, and you know, I had the heat and the cooling features in them, so I lost that as well. I really liked my stock seats, but you know, I needed to change it up for the car, and so I went ahead and got the BRAUM sponsorship for the seats. And just don't expect the same comfort that you had with your stock seats. I mean, these are obviously not, you know, as thick as your stock seats were. You know, you can see they're much thinner. That's where part of the weight reduction comes in. So, you know, they're great. They look fantastic. You know, they got a lot of detail in them, but they're not as comfortable as my stock seats. You know, that just is what it is. But that's a, you know, fair sacrifice. You know, I understood already they're not, you know, gonna have the same luxury as the OEM seats would, so I was fine with that. So if you're big on your comfort, you might want to keep your seats, but these aren't not comfortable. So they are comfortable. I mean, I've been driving with them. I mean, the most I put on them is maybe an hour drive, and you know, they weren't hurting my back or nothing. You know, so they're plenty comfortable. I don't know, this isn't like a commuter for me, so I don't know if you were commuting in this every day, if it's something you'd be interested in doing. I personally would be fine with it, even if I was commuting in it, because like I said, they're not uncomfortable. They're just not as, you know, as thick and luxurious as the OEM seats would be. So, and then I went ahead and got the BRAUM decal on the front windshield there. So that all looks really good. So passenger side here, kind of sunny out and windy out, so bear with me if we get some breeze in this, but it is more consistent than my GoPro. As far as installing these, the video that I was making, I kind of showed how to install all this together, but like I said, it's trash for audio. So to summarize, basically, you know, you'll mount your rails on the seats, and then these height adjusters, you'll actually drill 2 new holes basically in them. So the rail lengthwise, there's not enough length for the holes that are in the seats. So what you'll do is you'll use one of the existing holes that slide back here, and then you'll drill 2 new holes. So like this one right here, that's a hole that I drilled into this bracket, and I don't know if you can see the distance there, but it's only like slightly above the gap that's in there, where you know, have the universal option to pick where you want to, you know, put a screw in there. So I don't know, if that's showing very well, but yeah, or you can kind of see a little better on this one. So you see I drilled this hole in here and then on top as well. So you'll drill the same hole location on top and bottom of this. That way you can mount the rail to the height adjuster and then mount the height adjuster to the planted seat technology. So you'll drill 2 holes on this side, and the spacing, you know, I don't know if you can see that there's a small space between where I drilled. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you can get a bolt through there, you know. So you'll drill 2 on each rail basically. So 2 holes on that rail, this rail, and then 2 more on each rail on that side. So once you drill those holes, everything will line up just right, and then you'll be able to mount the adjuster to the bracket. Overall, I'd say I mean I like the seats a lot, and you know, these are an expensive seat. These are their Diamond Elite X series. These run right about $1,000 for both of them, and that's not including the height adjusters or the planted seat technology seat brackets. So keep that in mind if you're buying them. I did get a sponsorship with them, so I did get a pretty sweet deal on the seats. You know, and then I got the pads here for all of them. I also got this kind of the protectors that wrap around here to keep your OEM seatbelt from rubbing against them if you decide to use the OEM one. And I actually like using this. Not all the time, but it's a nice quick option to be able to just do that instead of, you know, doing all four points. So the fact that I could keep that is, you know, a big pro for me. Everything for me is working out fine with the seats. I think the main gripes people had with them was that they sit low, which I fixed with the height adjusters, and the SRS light, which I fixed with the clips. But you know, whether they go off or not, I don't know, but I was able to work around those issues I had. Comes down to it, it's all personal preference. I mean, the seats are necessary. The seats that come with the, at least for me, the SRT are really nice and comfortable. And like I said, mine had the heated and cooling features, so I was completely fine with keeping my stock seats with the harnesses and the harness bar. The car's still looking pretty clean. I haven't been able to drive it much because, you know, the whole coronavirus thing, there's nobody anywhere. I do have some diamond mats coming in, so I'll probably be shooting just a quick video on how that'll turn out, you know, with the seats in there, since it's all going to be diamond pattern. Those are being shipped, so you know, that'll be just something quick and easy to do. So it'll be a short video. I still want to do some airbag stuff, so I'm going to be changing all this up quite a bit. I'm going to be doing something different for the mounting surface, and then I'm going to have something for the tank and the compressors to mount on. So that stuff's coming too. That one's going to be a little bit slower of a project because I got to kind of squeeze that into my life, as far as, you know, family and work and all that. Since I haven't really done anything with the whipple, I do still want to do some aesthetic stuff, the, you know, billet stuff. I want to do a shroud cover here, but for the whipple, I'm actually probably going to go full E85. Performance wise, that should, you know, give me some good horsepower gains on top of the whipple and the Hellcat short block, and you know, the custom tune that I have already for it with the TCM tune. And I also actually want to do the smooth boost for the whipple. There's a lot of good information on that as well, so I do want to do the smooth boost. So that'll be one that's coming for sure too. That'll actually probably come before the E85 conversion, because I want to get that dialed in with my tuner first. Probably going to make a video on the actual drivability of this car. I've never driven a stock 392, and I've never driven a Hellcat, so I can't say what it would be like versus this car. All I know is how this car drives, and so I'm going to be doing a video on that and how I feel about having a Whipple 392 versus how I would feel about having just a Hellcat. Because before I purchased this car, I did have the option of owning a Hellcat, and I chose this car instead. I mean, price had a big, you know, was a big part of it. This car was about $34,000 with the Whipple supercharger on it, and that was with the new short block, because all that stuff had just blew up. So the guy was kind of over it and wanted to sell it. So I found it on Craigslist, and then I was either going to get this car or a red Hellcat, and that was about 45 grand. This one only had 19,000 miles on it. That car had, I think, about 25 or 30,000 miles. Right now this car has, I think, about 25,000 miles, so I haven't really even driven it that much in the last couple of years. So I'm going to be doing a video on that too. And if you're thinking about Whipple supercharging your car, you might want to watch that, because I mean, I can't say if I could go back I would get the Hellcat. I probably still would choose this car, but I'm working through some issues with it, you know, so stay tuned for those issues. That's another video. I'm trying to do more of the do it myself modding videos. I'm not a rich guy. I have to be cautious of what I spend. Where I can save some money, I will. So a lot of this, you know, I do want to try to start filming from now on the mods that I do to the car. I don't just, you know, go and pay. I can't just go and pay people to do them. So I'm learning a lot about these you know, these cars. That's kind of what my primary focus is going to be, is recording videos of the things that I can do to this car. Maybe some of it will help people out there who are trying to tear their own cars apart. I wish I would have still done this before when I threw the airbags on it, because I did the airbag system myself, and like I said before, I did the overdrive pulley myself. I've done the serpentine pal. I've done the you know, the water pump. I've done a lot of do-it-yourself kind of stuff already, but I do plan on keep going, except this time I'm gonna keep filming it. So anyway, so that's the car. Summarize: if you are searching for racing seats, the BRAUM racing seats are a great way to go. They're comfortable for me. I'm 6'2", 225 pounds. I feel like they hug me pretty tight. They're comfy. They look great. And you know, I don't regret my purchase, but you know, just be aware that there are some things, you know, that you're gonna lose or sacrifice if you're going this route. After I do the diamond mats, I'm actually gonna have the door panels done, and probably the back seats, and then the center console to match the pattern of the seats, so that kind of all ties in and flows together. And the interior, I'm obviously gonna have that done. So I don't know anything about stitch work, so that's the car, and that'll do it for this one. Anyway, I'll have a good one.